Hello, fans, collectors, and investors. Welcome back to Iconic Baseball. I'm Iconic Al, and I haven't had a video for a while, and I'll tell you why. It's because I have cards. I'm waiting for it PSA. Not a unique problem to me, I know, but I basically can't continue with my countdown until I get some cards back from PSA that I've had there for about 14 months. And rather than go out of order with my countdown, I figured I'd wait. But in the meantime, I've had some insights and some ideas, and I still thought that this would be a fun idea for a video. As the money has started to come out of the market here, as the economy has slowed down a little bit, I've noticed some opportunities have started to come up at local card shows. And I've been looking at the universe of players, especially the universe of players that I collect, that are within the top 100 of all time, and a group emerged that are starting to show some promise for me in terms of valuation. And that group is basically the mid-career top-tier Hall of Famers. The guys that are in the middle of their careers, basically from the ages of 27 to about 33. They still have some time left in the game. And people have sort of waned in the interest for these players. And so I've been finding great bargains and upgrading aspects of my collection for players like that. I'm talking about your Mike Trouts, your Mookie Betts, your Nolan Arenados, Shohei Ohtani even. Guys that are, still in their producing prime and are on Hall of Fame type trajectories, will be among the top 100 of all time, yet right now there's quite a few bargains out there. So I figured I'd do a video counting down the top 5 mid-career investable players in the game today. The top 5 late career most investable players I think are pretty obvious. Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw. Those 5 guys are, I think everyone agrees, first ballot Hall of Famers. Guys that will be investable, will be collectible, will be relevant forever. And so, for me, those 5, fully priced, people know those players are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. The next level, the mid-career guys, I don't feel have been getting the due. Obviously, Mike Trout gets a lot of hype because he is the best player in baseball and has been for about 10 years. But there are still some opportunities where they, I think, have been oversold a little bit here. So I'm going to go through some recent pickups of mine in that group of mid-career top players, the top 5 in my opinion. And I look forward to going through these with you. So stay tuned and find out what I have to show you.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Okay, let's start from the top. The best mid-career player in baseball, Mike Trout. He's in his prime. He has a skill set similar to Mickey Mantle. The only thing separating Mickey Mantle was his postseason success. He was able to win multiple rings, and he was at his best when it mattered in the postseason. We still have yet to see if that's something that Mike Trout can establish. A postseason career, multiple rings would be great, and I look forward to seeing if Trout and Ohtani can take the Angels to the postseason and get deep in the postseason. Hopefully that's something they can do in the next few years, and that would certainly up their value and increase their long-term collectability. But even in the absence of that, Mike Trout has established himself as a generational player, someone who will not be forgotten. At the age of 30, now Mike Trout is 30 years old, he has amassed already 80 WAR. And in the context of WAR, he is already a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he could have another 8 years left in the game, another 10 years left in the game. But he's already established the numbers to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is remarkable at age 30. Why these cards? So these are the only two Mike Trout cards that I own. And there are reasons why I particularly like the value that these cards offer. This card on the left here, this is the 2009 TriStar Prospect Plus Mike Trout card. One of his less mainstream cards, but one of his first ever. This actually predates his rookie cards by about 2 years. So it's one of his very first cards, not from a major company. TriStar is kind of a second-rate card company, but one of his true first cards. As soon as he was drafted, this came out. And the reason I like it, well, I paid about $70, so that's one thing I liked about it. It's a budget option. And the other thing I really like about it is the population. There are only 36 in the PSA population report at this grade. And there's only 18 graded higher. So we really like that. That for whatever reason, clearly it was not an overproduced card. And there are not many in the population report. But this is a Pop 36 with 18 higher. So there just aren't that many of this card out in circulation. And the fact that it's such an early Trout card, I like that too. So it's a non-conventional Mike Trout pre-rookie, essentially. I think you can still pick up these if you can find them in the $200 range. So I think that still offers a pretty good value. Even at $200, I think it's still a pretty good price. And I have no plans on selling mine. I think it's just a good long-term hold. If you believe as I do that Mike Trout is a generational player, he's somebody that will have his own top 100 episode in the coming months. So stay tuned for that. I'll go into more detail on Trout as a player. The other one, and this is a recent pickup. This is one that I've just picked up in the last few months. And there's a reason, because I think the market is starting to come down to a point where cards like this make sense. This is the 2011 Finest Base Mike Trout in the PSA 9. Beautiful card. In fact, I think quite a bit more beautiful than his 2011 Topps Update. And it's a premium set with the rookie patch in the top left corner. So it's actually a premium set, and it was not overproduced like the Topps Update. If you look at the 2011 Topps Update Mike Trout, his flagship rookie card, there are 11,170 of them graded. That's a lot. And in a PSA 9, of which there are 3,445, these go for $1,000 right now in the current market. Now this is the Topps Update. Now, without knowing what this card goes for, I will tell you that the population here is 804, with only 256 higher. So we have a card that only 25% of the Topps Update, population-wise. So there's only 1/4 the number of these in this grade versus the Topps Update. So much scarcer, and actually much, in my opinion, more attractive card. It's a more premium card. And you would expect, oh, there's only 1/4 of them out there, that must be 4 times more expensive. This must be a $4,000 card. Well, maybe it should be, but it's not. I paid $400. $400 for that card, which is still a chunk of change. But if you're looking for value and something that's a little more investable, because if you look at the population, that's there's only 256 graded higher than this in the world of this key Mike Trout rookie card in a premium set. So it's something to think about. If you're looking for a value and you're looking at card shows and you see a nice graded example of the 2011 Finest, that's a great card to own. I love it. And I would much rather own this card than the Topps Update, personally. And so that's why I do. All right, so there's my 2 cents on Trout, who is number 1 among my mid-career players. Number 2 among my mid-career top investable players is Mookie Betts. No surprise. He's had a phenomenal career. He's only 29 years old. Still, feels like he's been in the game forever and been relevant and been a star forever, but he's already amassed 52.7 WAR, which puts him cleanly on track to be a high-tier Hall of Famer. 5 Gold Glove awards, an MVP, a batting title, a great power-speed combination. He's won 2 World Series titles already. So he's on track to be a Derek Jeter type of player in the hobby. So when you think of valuation, think, okay, well, I wish I would have bought Jeter mid-career, because I don't think people caught on to Jeter until somewhere around where we are now with Mookie Betts. So this is what I've already had a Mookie Betts episode, so definitely go back and check my Mookie Betts episode, because he's on my top 100 list already. But I made a recent upgrade to my Mookie Betts collection, which I basically upgraded this base card, which didn't excite me all that much, which is a PSA 10 of his 2014 Bowman Prospect. And I recently had a great deal pop up for a blue parallel of this card, which is numbered to 500. Very compelling. Graded a 9. There are hardly any on the population report for cards like this, which is why I love them. Let me just pull this up here. The Mookie Betts, I paid $138 for this card, which is ridiculous in my opinion. When you consider his status in the game and what it will end up being, and you have a key Bowman first parallel numbered to 500. This is number 340 out of 500. Extremely scarce, hard to find in a high grade, condition sensitive edges. It's blue, so it pays reference to his new team in a way. He's a Dodger now, and I like that. I like that where you're almost previewing, you're almost foreshadowing what team will come next. In this case, you have Betts, a rookie for the Boston Red Sox. He won a World Series with the Red Sox, and you have a blue parallel, which sort of foreshadows his time with the Dodgers, where he is now. This card has a population of 18. So this is a pop 18 with 9 graded higher. So you have 9 10s on the pop report. This is one of 18 9s, which is pretty special. I think this will be a very investable card in the future, a very significant card in the future. I like the look of it, and it's one of my long-term holds. It's going to be one that I just put away. I think if you would have kept a Jeter parallel, if they had more parallels back then, from earlier in his career or mid-career, good cards to kind of just sit on, put away, and hold for the long term. Now, this is an autograph that I showed on the previous video, so please go back and watch my Mookie Betts video for more information on that. But this was my upgrade. Upgraded from the base, of which there are thousands on the population report. And this will be sold. I can sell this to kind of fund other purchases like this, which is much lower population and I think offered tremendous value. So those are the types of upgrade opportunities to be looking for in the current market. Number 3 on the list of most investable mid-career players, Nolan Arenado. Now, I've already done a video on Arenado as well, so I direct your attention to my Arenado video for more on this card, which is a minor league autograph of Arenado. But this is my more recent upgrade. This is a pickup that I made a month or two ago. Found this at a local card show, and being here in Colorado, I feel like there's always ripe opportunities for people kind of sitting on Arenado cards from way back when he was with the Rockies. Anyway, this card sort of smacked me in the face here. I don't have an Arenado rookie card. I don't have any kind of a higher end Arenado card. So I figured, wow, this is a bargain. This is a 2010 Bowman Chrome first. That is a purple refractor parallel, which is really cool because purple kind of color matches with the Rockies, which is where Arenado started his career. And this is numbered to 999 examples. So this is a pretty low population numbered purple refractor of Arenado's first Bowman card. Pictures him at the end of a swing there. Beautiful refractor finish. Purple matches the Rockies colors. I was able to buy this for $125, which I almost had to double take. Like, really, $125 for a card that scarce, that significant, of a first ballot future Hall of Famer who's won 9 Gold Glove awards. I couldn't hand over the money fast enough. And if you want to look at Arenado, I mentioned a lot of this stuff on his video a few months back, but he's 31 years old. He's already amassed 47 WAR, a 288 career hitter, 282 home runs. So you got to figure he's going to get to 300 home runs at the end of this year at 31. So 6 more seasons, he'll be a 500 home run guy. And there aren't too many third basemen, Gold Glove third basemen, that have 500 home runs. There's basically Mike Schmidt, and you could argue maybe Eddie Matthews. I don't think he was around or in his prime when the Gold Glove Award was around, but I mean, he's on a very short list of third baseman, power hitting third baseman, with Schmidt, Matthews, basically. So very significant card there. I think offered great value. This is a population of, let's see here, 39. It's a pop 39 with 10 higher. So, again, there are just not many of these around, and for the price, I couldn't pass it up. And it fills a nice void in my collection. I feel like I have my Arenado autograph, and now I have my scarce Arenado Bowman first. He is number 3 on this list. Number 4 on the list is Shohei Ohtani. Now, most people think of Ohtani as a very young player, but really, he's going to be 28 this year. He's a couple more weeks. He's going to be 28 years old. So I consider him more of a mid-career player, not in that Wander Franco, Vlad Jr. category where they're in their early 20s. Shohei is going to be 28 very soon, and so his time in the game will be brief, I think, and his prime may be brief, but I believe he is a unicorn. As I actually did a video on Ohtani comparing him and what he's doing to the time when Babe Ruth was hitting and pitching simultaneously. So I direct you to my Ohtani video on more analysis for that. But Ohtani's cards are fully priced. I mean, there are not many cheap Ohtani cards. There are a lot of high population Ohtani cards. And I think they're a bit overvalued, the high population ones. So I'm trying to stay as far as I can away from the base tops, the base chrome, the base high population cards that there are thousands and thousands of PSA 10s out there, and instead opting for more non-traditional Ohtani cards or lower population cards, anywhere I can find value, because I think he's always going to be highly priced. But I think the base stuff, there is much room for that stuff to fall in the months and years to come. So on my video of Ohtani, I kind of went over these 2 cards. These are ones that I've had for a little while, and I got, I think, good value on these. I'm going to have this one graded eventually, because I think it has PSA 10 potential. And with the $30 I have into it, that would be phenomenal. The recent upgrade to Ohtani was this card. I don't buy a lot of SGC, modern SGC, but this is a refractor of Ohtani's 2018 Bowman's Best rookie card. So it's not a really rare card. It's not a numbered refractor. It's not a purple refractor or anything fancy, but it is a refractor. It is a parallel of Ohtani's rookie card. And he is number 1 in this set, which I also just like. I like when significant players, especially a rookie, is number 1 in the set. If you remember, 89 Upper Deck did that with Ken Griffey Jr., and we saw how that turned out. One of the most iconic cards of all time. So here we have Ohtani, a rookie card, number 1 in the set. This is graded 10 by SGC, so it has crossover potential at potentially being a PSA 10 someday, which may happen down the line. But I just wanted some additional Ohtani to add to my Topps Archives and my Decal Edge rookie card. So I have a few different Ohtani rookie cards now. I'm pretty happy with the low population of these cards. To give you an idea, this card in a PSA 10 has 353 on the pop report. So we're talking pretty low for 2018 standards. 353 is not a high population card in 2018. So I'm pretty happy, and this is about $100, this card. Pretty cheap, I think. $100 is a pretty good price for a card like this. It has potential to be PSA 10. It is a parallel. It is a rookie card. And I think he's going to be a significant player down the line. He's going to be a significant figure in baseball just because there are no comps for what Shohei Ohtani is doing in the game. Okay, finally, number 5 on my top 5 most investable mid-career players is none other than Manny Machado. He is a player that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. His cards are not valued very highly for some reason. Similarly to Arenado, I feel like people really sleep on these guys. Manny Machado is 29 years old, and he still has a lot of career left, and he is still in his prime. In fact, he's having arguably a career year this season, and it's the only thing he's really missing is a ring, and he hasn't traditionally played too well in the postseason. He's a 200 hitter in the postseason, and he hasn't gotten that ring, but he's on a very good team now. The San Diego Padres are a very good team, and in the years to come, we'll see if people start to wake up on Manny Machado. He's not on my top 100 list yet. He hasn't emerged to that point yet, but he is just below. He is kind of on the verge. If he has another couple seasons like he's having now, can establish himself in the postseason, and just continue to be the player that he's been, he will at some point crack into my top 100. And so in the meantime, this is the one Manny Machado card that I've chosen to invest in. It was only about a $60 or $65 investment a couple years back, but it's a slabbed rookie card from 2013 Bowman Draft, and it's signed by Machado there and authenticated by BGS. It's not graded. It's a pretty nice looking card that I might actually resubmit for grading later on, if that makes sense. But as of now, having an autographed rookie card of Machado, I highly recommend it for anybody who's speculating on players that are on track for upper tier Hall of Fame careers. Through age 29 here, he's already hit 263 home runs, a 282 career hitter. Given the time he has left in the game and the fact that he's solidly in his prime and doesn't show any signs of slowing down, I kind of speculate that he'll be a 500 home run guy. And he's won 2 Gold Glove awards at third, so he's definitely established himself as a phenomenal defender over the years, which helps. I think the only thing he really needs to establish is that postseason. Getting a couple rings, having a couple good postseason runs, that would do a lot, I think, for Manny Machado's value. But he's just kind of bubbling below the surface right now. And I wouldn't feel good if I didn't own anything Manny Machado. I think he's a guy that at this point, you almost need to have something if you're speculating on upper tier Hall of Famers. All right, that's number 5. Now I have a wild card here. The wild card is Jacob DeGrom. I haven't determined yet what path Jacob DeGrom will take, but it would be foolish not to mention Jacob DeGrom in this group. Now he is arguably late career because he's 34 years old, but he could have quite a few good years left in him. It's very hard to say right now with his injury history what the future holds for Jacob DeGrom. However, if you look at a couple comps, he could either be Sandy Koufax or he could be Chris Sale. It's very hard to say. If he is not able to get back on track here, health-wise, then he could turn into sort of a Chris Sale kind of guy who never truly gets back to where he was when he was dominant. And the other flip side is he could have a second act, Jacob DeGrom, come back and have 2, 3, 4 seasons, another couple Cy Young awards, and some postseason success with the Mets, and end up with a Koufax-like career, and could be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So this is a very hard situation right now with Jacob DeGrom. So I just have a few items. I haven't invested a lot in Jacob DeGrom, and he's not currently in the top 100, but you almost feel like you have to have something just in case. So I have a PSA 10 base 2014 Bowman Prospect, which is actually kind of a low population card somehow. I'm not sure why the base is so low population, but it's kind of a hard card to find in the 10. And then this is a certified autograph through Topps Heritage, I believe it is. I think it's a 2019 Topps Heritage? Yeah, 2019 Topps Heritage certified autograph of DeGrom, which someday I'd like to get graded. when the grading landscape normalizes a little bit, prices come back down a little bit. But to have a list like this and not mention Jacob DeGrom, either on the late career guys that I mentioned in the intro or the mid-career guys that I'm mentioning now, I think he's hanging on there at the bottom of that list, around where Manny Machado is. I think Machado is probably a safer bet at this point, but Jacob DeGrom might have more upside in terms of where, he gets healthy and stays healthy for a few years. He could win that third and that fourth Cy Young Award. And if that happens, then he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So Jacob DeGrom is a hard call. I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but I like owning some Jacob DeGrom because the sky's kind of the limit in terms of his potential. Because he's that good. He's that transformative. His talent is so great. So he's got 42.4 WAR to this point, and Koufax's WAR was 48.9. So there it is. A couple more good seasons, and DeGrom is probably there, especially if he gets that third Cy Young Award. He's sitting on 2 Cy Young Awards right now, and nobody that's ever won 3 Cy Young Awards isn't in the Hall of Fame. So we'll see in the next year or 2 or 3 what Jacob DeGrom is going to be, what his long-term legacy is going to be, and what he can do in the postseason will matter too. It's a very good Mets team. All right, well, that's my 2 cents on the best mid-career guys to be looking at. And look at values, because there are bargains to be had in the current market. All right, until next time, keep collecting and stay iconic.